So the iconic BBC, or British Broadcasting Company, is about to be in Seattle for a one-of-a-kind show. The World Service Arts Hour is on tour to share the arts and culture of cities across the country. And this coming Saturday, March 12th, they'll be right here in Seattle. The BBC World Service Arts Hour on tour. What's going on?
We have a regular arts hour that's a once-a-week program, and then a few times a year we travel to a different city in the world, and then on a stage in front of a live audience we have creatives from that city, so 2 music acts who perform live and a comedian, and then it could be a movie star, an architect, an author, could be anybody from any genre in the arts. And what we do is we pose a question that has some pertinence to that city. So, like if a city's gone through any sort of change, we'll ask how the arts is reflecting that change. And of course, this is the first time that we're truly back on the road since the pandemic began.
Wow.
I know the pandemic's not over.
Right.
And we're doing 3 US cities, so New York, Seattle, and Los Angeles.
I'm so excited that Seattle is one of the places you're stopping. You're coming March 12th, I think. What can people expect?
So on the stage on the Saturday, we have our music is Martial Law Band, and I know that they made a lot of noise in the city during the Black Lives Matter protest. Worked really hard with those crowds, so they are performing for us. And then Hollis got her Grammy nomination for work she did on their album The Heist, but she's performing as her own entity that night. And then our panel, if it sounds formal to call something a panel, but we have Claudio Castroluna, who was your poet laureate. And we have the filmmaker Tracy Rector representing the big tech of Seattle. We have the amazing Bonnie Ross, who is, you know, Halo the game and all the franchises of it. So 363, we've got Bonnie representing that area. And we also have the comedian Chris Mejia. So, and often comedians, when you visit a city or a country, are able to say things that other people can't because they can punch with humor. So there's a big pressure on Chris for us.
Part of the tour is something called Culture Cab. What is special about this? What is this all about?
Okay, so that's a little thing that we pre-record, and it does a number of things for the show. The first thing is it gives me the ability the day before I record to really see parts of the city. But what we do is we choose one of the guests who's going to be on stage with us for the actual Arts Hour on Tour show, and we ask them to show us, so in this case, their cultural secrets and places from Seattle that as a tourist I might not find. So it's Claudia Castroluna who's taking me on the Culture Cab in Seattle. And I know one thing, we're starting at the Longhouse, so we'll get a taste of the Duwamish history and ancestry. And that way, not only do I get to meet one of the guests from the show, but I get to see their perspective of Seattle.
I am so excited that you're coming here and talking about art. Why do you think art is such a powerful tool in bringing people together?
Well, I think for a start, artists respond almost immediately to what's going on in the world and around them, but they can also do it without the censorship that, for example, a politician would have to put in place, or the diplomacy. So whether you're a visual artist or a filmmaker, or you're making a TV show or writing a book, you can probably find a softer way into telling people's stories. And everything in life is about storytelling. So for me, my favorite thing in the world is to watch television and movies. So I've learned so much about other cultures by watching something from my sofa. And, you know, the same thing could go for reading a book or listening to an audiobook or music. But artists have the power to affect change, but in a softer way, I suppose.
In a way that gets directly to our heart. Nikki, thank you so much for your time. Can people come see the show? How can they view it afterwards?
They can indeed. So they can listen via the BBC World Service website. But we are also partnering with KUOW in Seattle. So hopefully you will get information on there. And if you follow the BBC World Service on social media, there'll be all kinds of bits and pieces that you can pick up on. And also, if you go to the World Service Arts Hour pages, there are links to be able to get tickets. I think actually we're sold out in Seattle, which is amazing. Thank you all so much.
Great.
But listening to it later, it's via the BBC World Service and KUOW.
I cannot wait to listen to that.